Hey, cuties! Welcome back to the final playthrough session for today's story of Chapter 16. So there are going to be more parts after this, but they're not currently translated. This is the end of Part 1. We're going to be finishing the next 2 episode bundles. So, look forward to it. Where we last left off. What did happen when we last left off? Well, we are now in Sumida Ward, and we are currently escalating the Tower of Babel. I didn't think it was in Sumida, actually. But yeah, it seems we came across Gargoyle, and now we're seeing some rooms that look similar to some preparation for the leading roles, which happens to be us, the protagonist. At least across 1,000 games, there will be one winner, where we happen to be that winner, and this is what was leading up to it. And it seems that there's going to be more than one of us protagonists. We're going to be facing the future hero according to this battle statement. Let's review this. So there are divine materials, and look at that! It's me, but from the future! How does that song go? Here we are in the future, and it's bright! Sort of, even though we look kind of emo. But yeah, welcome, Leonid Moravietz. I looked up how to pronounce your name, but I completely forgot how. And hello Yuntran, and hello Omni Rival. Let us hop right into this. Very short, right? Not sure what you mean by what short, but we are going to see the Battle of the Leading Roles. In terms of the story, it's the same length as any other story, I think, but I do think it's short in terms of how long it's being released. I thought it would be twice as long based on the release schedule, but apparently not. All right. Let's I have not built a team for this. That's actually really careless of me. Well, this is it rewards coins, so we can probably use one of our previous teams. So we got some coin, and we'll probably bring a rank XP booster with Anvari or something like that. So unfortunately, no one has Anvari with Gurus, understandably. So we'll just bring this one, and we'll toss in was it this one? I don't think it was this one. No, it was not. Was it this one? I think it was. Yeah, these are all rank boosters. Let's go ahead and toss in a different unit that's not this guy, since he's now fully leveled. I don't really want to level Vainamoinen 3-star. I kind of just want him to die as fast as possible by dungeons. That might change it in the future, but let's go ahead and bring ourselves Big Fat Boy that we have not fully leveled yet. Alright, let us hop right in with Chapter 16, next episode bundle for the Battle of Leading Roles. And as usual, let me know if the sound is fine. I was born sharing many similarities with my manufacturer, as many living beings are. Many transients who work as educators or college professors in Tokyo appear in aged states. Royal Representative Onyankopon of Akisimva is one such transient. Many years after the disappearance of his hero, he was summoned to Tokyo. This is likely a very rare case among world representatives. He regards himself in the mirror, thinking that the older he gets, the more he looks like his hero. In time, he realized that he had grown older than said hero. The hero who, under the belief system of Akisimva, was said to be the king of all stories. He wished to be like him, to be praised and lauded in all sorts of heroic tales. Yet as he observed the humans, he could not understand why his hero chose to live with lesser beings like them over him. Desire for the title overwhelmed him, tormented him, and eventually he inherited both the hero's name and position. Many years have passed since he began acting as though he loved the humans, mimicking the way his hero treated those he had only seen as prey. Yet no matter how much time passes, Onyankopon's hero gleams eternally in his heart, with a much younger visage than he has now. It's us! Oh my gosh! Hold on, I remember the names. It's Yoshitsune for Protagonist 1, Everinomi or Yurinom for Protagonist 2, Susano for Protagonist 3 from Takamagahara, and Shaitan from Eden, Protagonist 4, and Cthulhu from the old ones, Technos 5. That is why it is not the 5 adults before Anyankpon that steal his attention. Ooh, nice color fade. 23 individuals stand before them, including the 5 at their head, cloaked in the radiance far greater than all else present. So there are 20 heroes in total from there. One of the 18 behind them, however, is someone younger than Anyankpon who yet looks widely similar to him. Ooh, I see. He's seeing the exiles. He's seeing Anyankpon and Anansi. Was it Anansi? No, it was the other guy. I forgot what the other Anyankpon was. Oh my. My daddy. My hero. Anyankpon Nyame. That's it. What's gotten into you all? Don't tell me those are... Oh, everyone knows them. Oh. Oh my. Now this is rather... Oh. Oh, yes! Yes, that's him. There's no mistaking it. Before this Kafil stands the Supreme Angel of Eden. So this is the first time we're able to see what original visage was, whom he used to look up to. So that is no student, young and reincarnated. Nay, that is the face of the hero, unchanging from the day he departed heaven. Oh, my lord, you have come. Oh, Shaitan. Oh, most Supreme Angel.
Hold it, Esophil. What the hell's are you talking about? That's the Fear of Eden's highest angel? You sure you don't need to get your eyes checked out? I'm right here, buddy.
Aside from the neutralized gargoyle, every single member of the dance party fails to conceal their shock. Someone who is more uncannily resemblant of the exile than us, the exile of exiles. The transients from the 23 other worlds are more or less a huge surprise. After all, figures from old tales of heroism and the epic myths of homelands have suddenly appeared in person. Earthen, watch out! Here they come! That is why you and Ark are the first to make a move. The numbers are about what I expected, but I had not thought they'd pull a stunt like this. Next, to come back to their senses are the native Tokyoites in the advance party. Shuichi had predicted the enemy strategy following the fight in the old laboratory in Shibuya, but even he is caught off guard by the sight. So they figured this was going to come. This musical. What is happening now is what happened in the old observatory. The Utopia faction has its members cross themselves with themselves, creating a transient summoning chain reaction. Their foe is the Utopia representative and the new laboratory, with a portal at the top of Tokyo Babel Tower. If they can send as many fighters from other loops as they want and send them to the surface, then as long as that is where they fight, the Guild Mega Alliance has no chance of winning. After all, on open ground, the larger force would let their numbers do the talking. In a head-to-head clash, a smaller army cannot beat a larger one. From the age of Sun Tzu to the modern battlefield, this has been an iron law of war. That is why the Mega Alliance elected to strike hard and fast at the small elite squad. The tower's corridors leading down to the surface are cramped and confined, and any opponent would be forced to traverse them. Oh yeah, these bozos. I'm pretty sure Willie did not have a single line before he disappeared. Well, maybe he did. He was like, oh, my daddy or parents or something, my mommy. And then he disappeared after the chapter transitioned. Not to mention, those enemies already in view hold the upper ground, which means no place on the surface is safe. So the strategy with the greatest advantage is to take the initiative and strike first. Going into the tower, intercepting the enemy forces with an elite squad would be ideal. However, the first problem is that they will also have noticed this is the ideal strategy, but... Of course, the Utopia representative and the laboratory had to have known what they do. But you needed to capture me before you did anything, right? I knew I was a sharp one. Great intuition there. Since we're already here, let me answer. Did I make a video reviewing the previous banners units? Nope. No, I did not. I have not been making videos for quite a long time. I've been doing streams ever since my computer from before broke down. And yeah, although I was toying with it, not only do I not have the free time or energy to make videos now, but I actually tried to make a video recently, and it seems my new computer setup is not able to currently handle that for some reason, so For now, just presume video making and short making is off the table. It's going to be stream exclusive for the indefinite time being. They needed to stop the developer of the app from betraying them before anything else, it seems. Good question, though, Astrologer. And that's where they ran into a problem, however. The records of my activity were both public and top secret. Since the data couldn't be accessed, they didn't have any way to predict my future movements. But with the app developer gone, they wouldn't be able to keep the game going. It seems that's the last thing they wanted, so they came up with a plan. You are free to check out the reviews, though, on stream, which I am still doing. They summoned me and assigned me to the case. The only person who can use the same privileges and remove the top secret masking from his data is the man himself, me. But if I did that, well, you'd notice right away what was going on. Unlike the girl and her robot, I can't pull off time travel, so I can't summon myself from the future. So I decided to corner you with sheer numbers and mobility. They made the right choice using me. After all, who would be better at puzzling out what I would think? Still, it looks like a bit too much time, so I ended up allowing them to come after us. I had a feeling, but now I'm sure. You did Tindalos with solo loving? Congrats. You're me from the past, aren't you? Ugh, the past? Yeah, I figured. It seemed kind of strange that him from the future would be cooperating this, but in the past, seems more likely. Or to be more exact, you're me from the past with implanted memories from the future. World pillars are able to confirm memories to others. And I am guessing that Utopia's world representative fits the bill as well. I am surprised, even though this is exactly what they did in Chapter 15, implanted memories of the future. Or perhaps they use cloning technology. Either way, you're mine. Now that's a shock, honestly. It's wild to me, I know the future, but there are still things out there that catch me off guard. How can you tell all that just from what I've told you? Or maybe you're just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. No, I'd say it's because of the clothes you're wearing. Gives off total grinder developer, not so much app developer. Either way, given my surprise, that's basically me saying, you're right. Transient summoning is a method for natives to summon beings from the other worlds they have some form of connection to. There have been no recorded instances of non-Tokyo transients successfully performing a transient summon, at least not to Shuichi's knowledge. From the information you and the other guilds share, he presents the following hypothesis. We can then surmise that Current summoned, as a native of these lands, herself from the future. After extrapolating from current knowledge of transient summoning, all of the advisors and brains on ground guilds conclude that it should be possible. After all, oneself from the future has a solid continuation from oneself in the present, meaning the necessary connection unmistakably exists. Yet with that in mind, we come to another problem. Is someone able to summon someone else from the future? That's similar to how the natives in the laboratories you signed on would manage to pick me up. Summoning me from the future probably wasn't something they could have pulled off. I mean, me from the future didn't have any sort of connection with those people from the laboratory yet. If you summoned me from this loop you're in, however, that would be different. The Utopia representatives might have had better luck, but it's not like she's exactly a native here either. I am lost from this time travel talk. It could be helpful to have diagrams. I was saying, you don't need to rely on these people explaining everything visually. Was just a sprite. Performing continuous transient summoning of transients from the future is probably difficult for that same reason. The Utopia representative is said to have watched the other players in silence until this loop. And the new life set to come from Utopia has mostly stayed locked away in a particular battle zone, making no attempts to interact with locals. Meaning they have no way of gaining connection with anyone, at least not until this loop ends. That leads us to believe that if we're going to win, this loop is our last chance. Even if there is another loop, the one we'll see Utopia maintaining, and that one will see an Utopia maintaining an absolute advantage. If a foe can produce an unlimited number of soldiers, what point would there be in continuing the game any longer? But this, this I did not expect. Shuichi Togo looks at the other members of the Mega Alliance to gauge their reactions. Each of the transients is eyeing a separate individual with obvious surprise. Not only that, it me! They are casting occasional glances and comparing that individual to you. This can only mean one thing. They're my past selves? The heroes from Otherworld. Oh, well, accordingly, they summon them from the future. But it makes more sense they're from the past before we forgot our memories. I'm kind of confused. But it makes more sense they're from the past. I always wondered why they called them future hero. Need more work on that explanation. Oh my gosh, Yoshitsune, Everinomi, Susano, Shaitan, and Cthulhu. Right in front of X other. Either way, when these people start battling themselves, the winner will be obvious right from the start. After all, how can you beat someone who knows the reason he lost? Well, there's one way to win the second fathom, and that's if they let us one. Here they come! Ooh, spicy. Alright, no preamble, just jump in. Survive for 3 turns. Alright, how do we want to do this? Be cheesy as fuck. I should have put Chinglong in front. Oh, well, it's fine. Love this theme. Get out of here. Alright, let's continue.
よくも暴れ回ったものだ。話は指導室で聞かせてもらおう。
Kitsune and Cthulhu. Arathin, we should fight in the narrowest quarters we can find. This sport can hardly fit 5 abreast. If we fight here, they shouldn't be able to outnumber us. Rinomi, Susano, and Shaitan. They're really strong. His swordsmanship is so much like Arathin's. In fact, it's the same. They were attacking you with the same sword techniques you've been able to use from the moment you woke up in Shinjuku Central Park. 3 ads, ouch. So it's true after all. Is this what I look like to the others? Okay, Avi, I'm gonna tell you a fact, even though this is, you should have been using this a long time ago, to be honest. Maybe install ad blocker of some kind. Ad blocker plus or uBlock Origin. That should be able to block YouTube ads, and if not, then maybe switch to Firefox and install that. Jesus. In that case, I'll have you use what I only have. Come on out now, Solomon.
You got it, Master.
Oof, voice. We're using that. The movie learned this loop. Double Dragon.
Got it. Here goes.
It's me. Oh wait. And Youngpun, you're ruining my groove. You have it all wrong, Arathin. That's what they want you to do, and it's essentially suicide. Watching his young father and his young father battle, Onyankopon finds himself giving words of caution to the fighter on the human side. If the Utopia representative has given them data from all the fights you've been in thus far to make predictions with, then... The attackers cross their swords together as if they have been waiting for this moment. Then, much like yours, the spark of their rule kicks up between them. What? Don't tell me. They recreate your double dragon charged by multiple fighters. Ain't no way they got 23 little Solomons. They're on mobile. There's this thing called YouTube Revanced. And it's essentially, it lets you install YouTube, but through a different installer that sets it up so it blocks ads before they even enter in the first place. I would suggest you explore your options for installing it through Reddit, because there's a lot of fishy installation versions of it. But otherwise, if you go through the Reddit description of YouTube Revanced, then you should be able to find an ad-free YouTube player on mobile. It does take a moment to research, though. Alright, a Battle of Leading Roles Part 2. Seems like nearly the exact same setup, except it's a larger map now. We'll just continue using the same team. Alright, where are we at? Give me that delicious rank EXP. There is something that many world representatives here have attempted up until the present. Calling back the hero either they or their world had exiled. Yet the heroes never answered the calls. Why would they? They had chosen to leave. There was no going back to the days before their exile. Is this the point where they start asking them? Oh, is this where they get closure after 10 million years? Since we are just too much of a freaking amnesiac to get their closure. No one had the ability to turn back time and return to the past. That is why the world representatives decided to test their luck in this Tokyo, joining the game of survival. Onyankopon, world representative of Agisunva, is no exception. He, Onyankopon Anansi, had a father he looked up to, Onyankopon Nyambe, who was the hero of Agisunva. Though born as the pinnacle of the world, he loved humans, lived among them, fell into despair, and left the world. He descended to the surface to live among the mortals. As he lived with them, he was hurt like them, and left the world. Without using his rule to rearrange life and ward off death, he was sent off to heaven like the humans he loved so much, and left the world. The elderly Onyankopon was summoned to Tokyo, and it was he who encountered the Utopia faction before any other. There, he conducted countless experiments with their cooperation, gaining a wealth of unique information. For example, he found that Utopians would not use their technology to clone themselves, according to a very narrow meaning of the word. This meaning referred to the creation of a complete copy from a single cell. According to them, one of the reasons was it created no acceleration in the world. They see no meaning in repeating the same phenomenon. What they need is to recreate a disruption in time and add acceleration. Okay. Accelerationism, if you don't realize this now, accelerationism is actually the main issue this world faces. In any other name, it's known as capitalism. But yes, accelerationism is a huge philosophical issue that, you know, is both for solutions but also accelerating problems. To them, making a complete copy of an individual goes against their system of beliefs. That is why the laboratory adopted that rather twisted, roundabout way of mass-producing the prodigies. Self-cessed, apparently. With inbred children. Kind of very fucked. They crossed Kyoma Mononobe was once seen as physically identical, brought in from another time. Yeah, so that's why they're not just Kyomas, they're actually just full of genetic defects that leads them to die at a very young age. That's very, very, ooh. From there, they kept pumping out acceleration toward the future of artificial diversity. Shaitan, Ebrinomi, Susano, Cthulhu, Yoshitsune. Yoshitsune from the Land of Awe and Ebrinomi from Olympus. The leading roles from all sorts of heroic mints and tales stand before the advance party. They are unified and more numerous. If numbers truly are strength, then this strategy is unbeatable. Now, Onyonkwan is more confused than anyone else, for he realizes that the scene before him cannot be. Why? For what reason? No, not why. How? Much like Hoover, Onyonkwan possesses a good bit of knowledge on Utopia's world representative. The beings are indeed the vessels of the exiled worms, yet the Arathan from this loop is separate from them. Yet they are apparently not clones in that narrow sense. In which case, how are they created? Are they saying they're not like Kern, but they're also not just a direct clone? I don't know. One cannot transient summon a normal human from another world to this Tokyo as a corporeal body. If this Tokyo's future is to exist as Utopia on the far side of the walls of time, then its series should remain standing. Right, so David is actually human. So that is a particular case of a transient that was summoned that was human. And he ended up taking a ghost form, I guess, as a result, is what they're saying. But let me reread this. If this Tokyo's future is to exist as Utopia on the far side of the walls of time, then its theory should remain standing. It is known that attempting to force such a summoning will result in a summoned entity that is exceedingly fragile and unstable. Touching it will be impossible for anyone without a connection, and only the summoner would be able to perceive it. Summon presidents have been recorded near Yogi Academy back in Shibuya, a laboratory's old experimentation lab. Yet the adult versions of you standing before Onyonkwan are undoubtedly solid vessels with corporeal bodies. This makes no sense. Right, so they're corporeal like humans because they're summoned from other... Yeah, I guess they're transients, but also humans, and they're not us, so... I don't know. These are a bunch of rules they're kind of just adding right now on spot. Confusion grips him, and he cannot take his eyes off one figure behind the 5 hero in front of him who bears a striking resemblance to him in his youth. That is startling enough. But what truly boggles the mind is the sheer scale of this madness. Surely they cannot do this free of cost. Of course not. Some manner of fierce recall has to be experienced somewhere as payment. He is overlooking something somewhere, but the situation is too jumbled for his mind to keep up. And if Onyonkwan, the most informed transient present, is this confused, then it requires no leap of logic to imagine that. The others facing this stunning novelty are receiving an even greater shock. Why so many? And why here? Wait a second. That is what the Onyonkwan remembers what this tower is called. Oh, is this where all the memories are stored? Tokyo Babel Tower, a structure which resembles the Tower of Babel, with roots in the world below and heights stretching to the heavens, that which is not washed away even by the great floods of time. If it is possible that those standing before him had their origins preserved here from one loop to the next. Ark, for their part, remembered something different at the sight of their foes. A case they'd heard about from you some time ago that remained unsolved. The discovery of the body part of a certain person. Did we already resolve this? Wasn't it our body part or something? From, like, future... I guess that was not technically solved. Looking back, that thing with Mononobe and Kirito, they were just like... They saw us, and it was from another thing, and it was our part that was cut, but that was not really... That was not really explained why that happened in the first place. It's something to do with the entertainer's plot, but I don't know. This is what you call Fury? Early Fury? Jesus. Yeah, maybe set an alarm or something. They said it was found somewhere in Shinjuku Ward after you appeared there. There was a lot of commotion at your school after the police had come visiting. Yeah, believe it or not, Fury, that plot point that you saw in chapter 2 with that missing body part from Shiro and the others, that's only being covered now. All the way up until chapter 16, like 8 years later. Or 9 years even. When forensics were run, the lab discovered that for whatever reason, the body part was a perfect match for your own. Big spoiler. Of course, knowing how this game works, only one would naturally think thusly. The body part you'd lost in the past loot had been left over and found in this one. A clean, intuitive explanation. Yet it does not explain everything. Where, for example, did the rest of the body go? If time in every corner of Tokyo's 23 wards were rewound, would body and body part not be reunited? Then again, what if time everywhere did not rewind? What if that was the mistake everyone's... what if that was the mistake in everyone's assumptions? Did it not rewind everywhere? That's strange. Tokyo does indeed loop, but what guarantee is there that everything in Tokyo does? This is a chapter 14 spoiler, by the way, with Hyome and Kirito. What if individuals outside of the game in Tokyo left that body part behind for whatever reason? And behind it stayed without being reported to Tokyo Babel Tower. What if this Guild Master's vessel is not affected by the loops? Is this where we get shanked, in that loop? Why were you in that park in the first place? Was all of your memories gone? If this is a time loop, then it makes no sense for you not to have the memories of this Tokyo before that moment. Yet the application of a certain hypothesis explains that, whether you'd like it or not. What if your vessel in the park that day was, in some manner or another, newly born? That can't be! It feels like I'm getting nowhere. It feels like you can hardly put force behind your blows. You try to use your rule of rending, but it was like striking at curtain. Are they like world representatives? If that's so, then why? The overwhelming thought that you're fighting against someone higher up in the hierarchy who you just can't beat. If our friend is misreading the situation that badly, then the battle is already settled. I see, because they're from the future or the past or whatever, and we think they're just better than us. You can't win. Much like how you got yourself captured by me. Thus, your gut is pierced by a weapon of war. Warm liquid spills onto the Tokyo Babel Tower floor, forming a growing pool in front of you. Then the vision comes. Huh? Huh. Ocean, Jakarta, Old Ones, Utopia. There's a village back in Wano Kuni. What's going on? No! Arthan's ego boundary is about to collapse. Ego boundary? What's going on with Arthan? It's a state where all your thoughts threaten to scatter after you lose the vessel battery that defines yourself. It is similar to the phenomenon reported in encounters with new life around the city. To come into contact with a being that threatens one's unique sense of self, and to admit defeat. The Double Dragon is a forceful technique involving crossing two swords while two memories are simultaneously sparked. I fear that Arthan is now undergoing a violent revolt of memories clashing as they fall out of order. Uh-oh. Oh, no, not me. Arthan! If you see your enemy as yourself and they try to win by hurting yourself, it's obvious that the situation will turn out like this. This is why Utopia's representatives and the new laboratory are going to win, guaranteed. Besides, the laboratory has other pawns of their own.
They're back for round 2 and 3 already!
The strategy is once again approach your fallen figure from behind the advanced party. You stay away. It's reminding me of the Duo and Shiro thing. Well, honestly, a lot of Hoso is pretty much just like, here's a scene as it unfolds, and then here's a backdrop of two people who are not as much in conflict that are talking about, you know, the analogy to that, the backdrop to that. Arc No, you have to... Arathan, while you were fighting with the rule makers, I was in a battle of my own. That's when I went into a certain dungeon and borrowed some power from a certain exception. You cannot be getting genre arcs exception without the dungeon actually being unlocked. Come on, give us the dungeon. What are you doing? Jeez. Okay, to be fair, Arc did this all on their own compared to all the other dungeons when we worked as summoners. So I guess, you know, sucks to suck because we are not really keeping tabs with Arc. Arathan, now it's my turn to save you.
Yeah, I've had it. What's with you people?
So those folks in the back supposedly look like someone you know?
Who cares? There's someone else you gotta focus on right now. They're bleeding out on the floor? Right you are. No matter who it is I face, I, Moritaka, have sworn my service to one and one alone. Advance party of the Mega Alliance, lend me your ears. When I think about it, this situation is just like back then. Don't you think so as well, Tadatomo?
Yes, I do. Back then, our other father was there. I remember watching my other father's back at the time. Now things are different. Now the torch is ours to bear. We will take over.
My fellow warriors, falter not. We must guard our positions with our lives. Oh ho! As the new leading role, I'm afraid I won't let you hog this glory. Yashiori, Yoshito, take the enemies back.
Or take the enemies back? Huh.
Tadatomo and Nobumichi, I request that you protect Arathan from enemy encroachment. Tadatomo and Masanori, you are to take command of the battle overall. I leave it to you. And as for us, Moritaka. Indeed, we are to cut our way into the front lines. Put your best paw forward, Masashi. I mean, Shinbei?
Aye. World Representative Onion Capone stares past all of the surrounding action at the man he has seen even in his dreams. Another trophy has appeared, in a sense, who is closer to his ideal. You should pilfer him by all means. He should go to the side. For what other reason had he come this far? And yet... Onion Capone stares at you. At the fallen human, younger than he, collapsed on the ground. If I really haven't inherited my father's name, and I am following in his footsteps, then I can't abandon one of you mortals. Not here. He wouldn't. He compares the hero standing in distance to your body fallen at his side. Then... Your name is Inori, yes? I'm drafting you as an interim assistant. Huh? Your assistant? What am I helping? Bring Arathan into that room. It's time for an emergency operation. Emergency operation. Are we going to battle for an emergency operation? What's happening? I don't understand what's happening. Can we disable this guy? Maybe. Let's give it a try. Oh, okay. Sure, if you say so. Ooh, Young's leveled up.
つまりは従属の首輪やおっちゃんのことどんどん忘れられんくなるんで
Yeah. A transient has been watching the clash between your future versions and the Miglines from afar.
What am I to make of this?
It remains completely unmoved by your fight for a completely different reason than the others. He goes by the name Jizo, and he is a transient from Shangri-La. His role is to save the masses in the age of an absent Buddha. It is he who listens to and answers the lamentations of the innocent and but wounded, the sinless but exiled. He is not one to let a cry for help go unanswered. No matter the world, no matter the danger, where there are those who call for help, he will be there. The future where the Smoky God is absent, as Tokyo at the moment, belongs to him. His highest priority is to save the wounded in the weakest of positions. Yet herein lies the problem. I have to wonder, is Asura really... here really Asura? To hurt oneself is simply the result of karma, of a mere cause and effect. Not even a Buddha could save one who leaps into battle only to hurt themselves. Asura is a Smoky God's old friend, and Jizo has the desire to save him, of course. Yet herein lies the problem. He cannot save one who does not wish to be saved. On the other hand, I do feel like someone else is calling out elsewhere. Oh? Realizing something, he appears to look up to someone standing before him. Nice ass. Haha, I see. It was you who called me, was it not? He smiles at the empty space and nods as though it all makes sense now. In that case, I, Jizo, cannot stay put any longer. Especially if this is a result of karma. Asura Varuna, my time has come! Does he see Shino or something? Wow, the votes are split. Alright, another battle. Battle of Leading Roles Part 3 in a large map featuring each and every single one of these motherfuckers. We got the Yoshitsune Everinomi, Susano, Shaitan, and Kusulu, otherwise known as Kulilittle. Let's hop right in. Hey, it's Shino. I already have Shino, but yeah, sure, let's do it for the plot. Even though he's in the back. All right, fine. Let's just bring it to front. There you go. I hated my daddy too much, and I loved him too much. I wanted to beat him. I wanted to beat him off. I wanted to steal everything he had. I wanted to steal his cummies. His name was Anya Capone, the Great One. Anya Konyame, my daddy, and the hero of the world Agisimba. They considered him the creator of the world, and they called him the king of all tales. He makes an appearance in every tale, great and small, told throughout the Agisimba, thus his name. If you missed something oddly rival, we just switched between chapters now. In contrast to his glory, I was just a young punk owning new desire. That's who Anansi was. I was a predator who wanted every little thing under the sun. You couldn't wrap your mind around just how much I plundered from the humans beneath me. The humans and their individuality, their personal struggles, and their life stories might as well not have existed to me. I didn't consider any of it and didn't feel I needed to. So one day, I went to my daddy with a request. I demanded that he give me his name and title. That he give me his name and title. Okay, there's an H missing here, I think. To make me the king of all tales. We had us a battle of wits, and I won. Utterly and completely. I stole the title from him and made it mine. I was happy, believe me. I made quite the show of my joy to really rub it in. A little bit after that, my daddy got called home to heaven. He left this world. I think I'm to blame for that. Giving his role had to have been the cause. I'll be honest, I don't think I can truly beat my daddy, no matter how hard or how long I try. Ever since he left, I've been acting like him, like the man I remembered. Maybe it's because I still needed him in my life, so I sought it in myself. Him in myself. I even tried saying I loved humans like he did. Creatures that had been nothing but prey to me in the past. No matter how much I mimicked the old man, though, I couldn't see what he saw or figured out what his goal was. And I still can't. When I lost you, Daddy, I lost all senses of what I should look for in the future. Professor Onyankopon, you mean to say that your father was a god? My eyes grew wide when Baphomet, my assistant, said that to me. When I wake, before I operate, before I sleep, I see the visage of my father from days past in the mirror. No, it's not quite accurate. I've long since passed my father in age. Onyankopon, Daddy, I have you beat, but just in years. I'm pretending to love humans for a lot longer than you did. And I feel that my pretending, well, it's become real over the years. This light, it's coming from that room? The violently flashing lights and flickering shadows filling the floor are something the three of you are familiar with. Something they have experienced before. Is this Azisoth? It was much like the world of Old One's representative Azisoth's attack, the injection of memories. I too am the World Pillar, the Great One, the very symbol of the sun. I too can confirm memories through light much like Azisoth, like so. Oh, so tentacles of memories are just a thing everyone can do, huh? Standing over you as you lay in bed, and Youngman pulls out your clothes and many strands of gleaming threads. They stretch out the manipulations protruding from his back like spider web, stretching all around throughout the room. I surmise that Arthur is currently in the throes of a direly disordered memory. A type of shock that renders the victim unable to even ascertain where they are. The same kind of mental state that Tokyo natives with an aptitude for futuristic acceleration surgery are in. The ones who attack you and yours. If memories are laid out in chronological order from A to B, then B to C. The state has them skipping from A to C and suffering the ravages of the rate of acceleration. Or perhaps they are nauseated by the sensation of acceleration and suffering the ravages of the speed of time travel. That is why I will use these threads to sew them together and force the memories inside back into order. You hear that, Arthur? I'm forcing it back into you. He pulls out his field surgery kit from his bag and hooks you up into the electrocardiogram, then gives direction to his assistant. The mental pain will be immense and far beyond the capabilities of normal anesthetics to alleviate. Inori, you'll need to hold him in place with all your strength. We begin the operation. Inserting tool now. Hold him in place. Light comes spilling out of your wounds as though it were blood. Use some lube, dude. Inori, hold him steady. With everything you have, it can stand to break him in or two, a new hole or two. Got it. I'm pretty sure you said rib, though. Hang in there, Arthur. Heart rate dropping. Moving to cardiac massage. I keep going back, even farther than before. Your insides are thrashing about with such violent force that it feels as though they'll go flying out. You feel as though you are being whipped about through time, suffering the pain of each memory as it drips out of you. This is more than seeing your life flash before your eyes. You see memories from even before your birth. Agents, Yamana. Okay, different worlds. Memories appeared randomly before your mind in the haphazard order before fading away. Assailed by a fierce radiance, the 8 dog warriors see light fragments consisting of memories. Hit me. Hit me again. These are different events. Although Tadatomo was not in Hippolytus' event. And I'm pretty sure Jinbei was not in that one. The memories cast their light on dog warriors one after another. So these are just some nondescript loops, not corresponding to events. It seems we've been fighting side by side for a long time. Long before those memories we just saw. Gripping the orb of wisdom, Tanatomo whispers through tear-filled eyes. All dog warriors had spent more time together than they could remember, laughing and crying with one another. My fellow warriors, hear me! Arthan, our master, is being operated on in that room as we speak. We are his last line of defense. Let us guard our liege and see to our duties with ever greater vigor. Aye! Aye! Tell me why. Why go this far for them? What do you owe the laboratory? Oh, come now. I don't owe them a thing. Sure, they gave me those third-class privileges, but that fits snugly in the bounds of a legitimate exchange. If I had to say, though, well... Do you remember Koshte? I do. He was released in Valentine's event. Koshte? Of the agents? Actually, that's not how you pronounce his name. It's like Koshie. Suddenly hearing the name of a guild member, Hoover responds with an instant surprise. With a reaction like that, I'm guessing not much happened with him on this side, huh? Or maybe nothing has happened yet. Doesn't matter either way. Because those memories are mine alone. The app privileges are mine alone too. Is someone there? I'm not alone, am I? Greetings! It seems you're experiencing quite an unfortunate bout of suffering. Well then, when are you not? Oh, Asura Varuna. Forgive me. My name is Shizo, and not Shitibaraba, as I'm known sometimes otherwise. I'm a humble bodhisattva passing by. Passing by? Wait. Isn't this a mental realm? It still hurts so much to care. You know of Quantum. Oh yeah, Quantum was a thing, and then they disappeared. You know of a Quantum, don't you? I am a lot like her, you could say. If I am called upon for aid, I will always be there, be it the darkest abyss or the depths of one's heart. That is why I am often avoided by the freedom-loving Bohemio, which is a tragedy in its own right. But, forgive me, I let myself get carried away. Of course, you don't need to remember my name. I never intended to save someone who didn't wish for it, Asura. If I'm called out too directly, though, I want to save the person who seeks me. That is all. I don't remember calling you one. It's still too hard to respond to this babyface bozo. You can't hear it. Maybe you can't see it either. It is awfully bright after it all. Look into the radiance of the 5, of the 23. Squint as hard as you can and listen closely. Still can't see anything? Well, even so, that doesn't mean it isn't there. They push through the memories Jizo points to and eventually get past them. What lies beyond the 23 heroes are the memories of a mere human, hidden in the blinding light. A mere human? Is it me? Real life me? Before we were summoned? I don't know. I don't know where the story is going. Oh, it's, what's his face? Yatsufusa. And his master. What's his master's name? Why do we have this master's name? His master is apparently one of the... He's not in exile, though, so that's why I always wondered why Shino kind of saw us in them. Yoshitsuna is not Shino's master. It was something else. I forgot what his name was. Before he was a dog, he looks at you and begins to speak. Princess! I beg of you! Please, wait! Someone who is not you is staring through someone else's eyes at a dog. You cannot see what you look like, not through your eyes. It seems, however, that you are being called Princess. Okay, so this is Princess Husahime. Keep your distance, Yatsufusa. You must not touch me. Someone else's words come from your mouth. Man and beast must not be joined by naught. It is against the ways of this world, unless you're in the world of E61. Told to stay, the dog lowers his gaze and sits motionless as his companion washes herself. The dog seems ever vigilant, keeping a watchful eye to protect the princess. They lived together as human and dog for days without end, never allowing their hands to touch for even a moment. Well, you think I'm joking, but, you know, technically speaking, the original story of Yatsufusa and Husame was indeed a dog getting married to the princess due to Yatsufusa's master making a joke promise if he was able to bring the head of an enemy lord. Much than Yatsufusa did. A wall lay between them that was never to be scaled. The wall of the era. One of the exiles is her descendant, I think. Oh, is there a connection between Yoshitsune and Fusame? You do not know what thoughts go through the dog's head. You do not even know what your thoughts go through the head of the princess, who is you. Yatsufusa, you must listen well. I am about to depart from this world. Yet should you desire it, I will allow you to leave with me. The dog before you appears to smile. You do not know how he truly feels. The end result, however, may prove fatal. The iron bullet, fired from afar, pierces the gut of both you and the dog alike. Life blood spills forth and continues to gush out without stopping. Princess! Their hands never touched, not even at the bitter end. Yet a few final words appear to escape from your lips. Even in death, you remain apart, and those final words are... With the moon of the age eluding my gaze, I hurry beyond the sky. Guide my path. Namu Amida Buddha. Yet I heard that wish loud and clear. Jesus speaks of the memory that escaped from your lips, which you do not remember. So it is not you I will aid, but someone you are unable to even look at directly. Someone like you wishes it, and I save her. In the long run, this may end up saving you as well. If the era declared it impossible and would not allow it back then, perhaps better luck can be found somewhere in the future, after all. Besides, if there are gods, then there are also Buddhas. That's something I want to get across for starters. This laboratory may not even be breaking any rules of this world, but they are taking from the future where rules are yet to be established. And the future happens to be my home territory. In which case, allow me to take your side, my friend wounded by Asura. So let me advise you to remember this, friend. Do not attempt to sacrifice yourself. Is Oniwaka also from this world? He should be from the world of Wano Kuni, which is the world of demons and ogres. And I beg of you to treasure and reciprocate the feelings of those who wish to save you. So I think Shikigarawa might be from there. He might also be from, you know, some other Chinese world. I forgot what the word's called. Penglai, that's it. He could be from more like the Smoky Gods world, though. I forgot what that one's called for sure. Listen, it doesn't matter if you're a god, a Buddha, or even a being from the future. There are things you can't do on your own. Heck, even a leading role of the age can't see everything. Oh, you thought he was one in the chain with Shino? He might have merged them together. Oh no, Oniwaka is a completely different person. He was, he's Benkei. He's the guy who guarded the bridge to protect, what's it called? Yoritomo or Yoshitsune? One or the other. There are things that exist that only you can see, and there are things that exist that you cannot see. The world is broad. Did you also just say the world's name? I don't remember. What do you say? What's the name of the world? I don't know what world he's talking about, but it's Spooky God's world. Chandrila, that's it. An attack performed with multiple swords focused on a single point. A regrettably effective tactic in this terrain. A level of teamwork and synchronicity that suggests those performing it may all be the same person. The warriors have no immediate or effective counter. The attacks pushed the dog warriors back further and further, threatening to break them. Allow me to take care of this. Ark? Just what are you intending to? Monitaka. While you and the summoners faced off against the rule makers, I was off on my own exploring a certain dungeon and getting my own superpower, which you can't have because you guys left me to try and run away. Can you please just unlock this dungeon already, the fire dungeon? You were born a simple human, but you are tied to something otherworldly. Exception Witch of Orleans. The other way to use a rule. It will allow me. No, allow us to go beyond your era. Ark, I cannot claim to understand what you're attempting. However, if my comrade in arms has a plan, we can but believe them and move forward. Let us charge, fellow warriors! Aye! Yeah, Oniwaka is from the same land of Shino, but it's from a different story entirely. In fact, the story of what's called Shino and Yatsufusa and all that is just completely not really part of the main Shinto mythology. It's just like an OC fictional story. The dog warrior's blades begins to glow, as does the story in Tantoma's hands. What? What's the matter, Masashi? I mean, Shinbei? It may be but my imagination, but I swear I heard Mother's voice from somewhere. Where am I? Aerthan! Aerthan? Have you come to? Are you awake? Yatsufusa? Inori looks attentively in the direction you gaze, but... Everyone's there, but I don't see anyone new. Ooh, there he is. He just random jump scare Shino. No words, huh? Is this how they've always seen me? Okay. Okay, calm down. We're gonna go ahead and do this thing. No help from Shino needed. Oh, okay, no after battle. Yeah, that's sudden. That's sudden. Ooh, we got a permanent quest! Hooray! I'm gonna do that some other time. Hopefully by the end of this campaign, I can do they'll start to have stamina campaign for free quests, which is not on right now. However, the next quest is a fight for survival. This is the last episode bundle we'll be doing. And with that said, I'm taking a break, guys. 5 minutes. Honestly, you guys have no idea how much this performance takes my breath away. I'm just like losing oxygen. My brain is fuzzy. I need a break. I need a break, guys. Anyways, take 5, guys. Catch you soon. Hey guys, what's up? Hope you enjoyed your break. All right, let's resume. All right, so a fight for survival part 1. This is gonna be the last episode bundle we're going to cover for, honestly, this stream series. Part 2 is not covered yet, so enjoy this while it lasts. Take it in. We're not gonna be doing voice acting for a while after this. In fact, the next content may even be just like a discussion stream. We'll see. Oh yeah, it seems we're facing the Fatso Hoover, and in a wide map, facing some Negen as well as some Ouroboros. Let's do this. Imagine the dog warrior outfit based on Star Fox. Well, I am a fan of the current Star Fox reincarnation. It would be pretty cool if I saw the Hakenchi reimagined in that live action way. Not live action, definitely not live action, but in the same way that the current live action remake is designed. I really do like, they're quite mesmerizing, those realistic designs. Alright, we're going to continue with rank booster for Anvari. And... oh, we need to change our unit. Goodbye, you Golden Knock. Let's go level... can we level up at this point? We got no room for 5 stars. Alright, let's throw an MC. Believe it or not, I still haven't fully leveled my MC4. Let us resume a fight for survival part 1. I've always had secrets I couldn't let anyone know about. Well, to be more exact, there are secrets I don't want anyone to know about. Who I liked, what I liked. I've always been afraid of people knowing my secrets. But I've always really wanted to know other people's secrets. I'm a real piece of work, huh? Who dis? Oh, it's super. That's why I got so involved in profiling. I became an expert in hiding and sharing information. If I could ascend to the heights of this field, my dream would come true. And that motivation is what kept me going. Making dating apps on the side on my own time was part of that ambition. I was so happy when the laboratory scouted me and offered me tech, let me tell you. And this was another step toward my dream, I thought. Except, that's where it all came to a halt. While making contact with the technology of the future, I realized that all of my information, every last scrap of it, would be exposed to the world before too long. I had learned that by using Utopia's technology, I could make as many other selves as I wanted, all just as capable as I. Even if the person in possession of said knowledge was another me, I couldn't bear the thought of a world in which everything about me was exposed. I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to suffer the embarrassment.
How about...
I have no idea how this guy sounds.
How about you just hide them all, Hoover? There's enough locks and misdirections that even you won't know where your secrets are.
This is Koshie, a transient. He is one of the agents.
Ah, seriously, you don't need to worry about it so much, Guildmaster. I love nosy types like you.
Much like Inari was called a diviner, Koshie had another name as an agent himself. In the business, they called him the Immortal Koshie. The industry is awash with violence and conspiracy, but Koshie, as the name suggests, nothing ever killed him. Hoover's ex, one way to describe him. This is because his body and life were separate. If they didn't die together at the exact same time, he could keep on going. His heart would beat, his lungs would fill, his blood would flow. In the folktales of his homeland, Koshiya's life was located on the tip of a needle. This needle was inside an egg, which was inside a duck, which was inside a rabbit. The rabbit was inside a box of iron, which was buried deep under an oak tree, which was in an island far off in the ocean. To the elite Asians, however, losing one's physical, biological life isn't the only way to die. There are plenty of ways to kill someone other than physically. Socially, for instance. Like, say, severing their relationships and turning them into a pariah. Then, after gaining their trust and a strong rapport, stabbing them right in the back. Did Hoover betray Koshiya? You're not gonna get any speaking lines from these guys? They just look menacingly at each other and fight. The surgery was a horror to behold. Innards that had spilled out onto unthinkable surfaces were all forced back into where they belonged. Oh, I have to take off my proverbial hat to that stamina brave of yours, Inari. The average assistant would have been lying on the floor after that third convulsion. It's nothing really. In the world I used to be in, I saw many... what's that over there? So many deaths, so much pain, so much writhing that this was nothing. He caught himself before he could let it slip. He kinda suck at hiding it, man. It's nothing he's proud of, but it's well up in the bottom of Inari's heart. You really never know what memories will come out in handy. In the world of espionage and subterfuge, he'd seen a wide variety of people die in a variety of ways. You really hit me where it hurts with that little speech a bit ago, Inari. It was quite the impressive display. Spoken like a true hero, I'd say. I kinda got ahead of myself there. Sorry if there's anyone else who doesn't deserve to say anything like that, it's me. Inari the Diviner is no hero, and no one knows that better than him. Though he'd always told himself what he needed to hear to get through the job, that is what was necessary for the country, for the world, for the downtrodden. What I told you then, I should have said to myself, because it would come back to haunt me. I mean, you're a doctor. You're in the field of saving lives. Talking like I'm on some high horse looking down on you is really embarrassing in retrospect. Can't say I know much about medicine, but seeing how little you hesitated while operating was a sight to behold. Ugh. Onyankopon does not feel the need to mention how many patients he has overseen. I only made it all this way by following in the footsteps of a hero of mine. Oh, Dr. Onyankopon, by that do you mean? Hold that thought! Arthan's condition is shifting. Blank is here. Am I seeing things? Hold him down with everything you got, Inori. The patient may be undergoing intense delirium, and we must! Something thick and hot pours from your open wounds into the outside world. It is as though your organs and their attendant fluids are spilling out of you, at a rate that may render you a dry husk before long. Onyankopon and Inori desperately push it all back, fighting to make you whole again. Which is why none of them sees when someone peeks in briefly from behind or hears their passage. I see someone again. That it has to be. Yes, that is Blakey. If you don't know what's going on with Blakey, he was a very important character at the end of chapter 9, honestly. Chapter 9, but then he showed up in chapter 11, maybe? I don't know, he kind of shows up at the end of every single chapter bundle. He's very important.
Sleepy Horace finally awake, huh? That's the one thing that'll never change about you. Always the world champ snoozer, topping the leaderboards with C's.
God, these voices.
It has been a while, word of late. Do you remember me?
He has the deepest fucking voice. There's no way I can replicate his voice. Oh, these voices are alive too. Not really alive. Oh, okay, we're hearing all the dead. Oh my god, that's crazy. Spoiler alert. Hey there, my other half. It's been forever. Looks like you're on that store as usual, huh? As right about as it may have been, you defeated me. I'll not have one who bests me wear such a pathetic look. You're all... You guys... Yeah, sucks to suck. You read the story before you watch a playthrough. It's your own fault. Your faces meant that much surprise. You look as though you've seen people long gone, or perhaps a hallucination in the midst of suffering. Am I hallucinating? I am, aren't I? I guess I've lost it. Oh. In your current state, that question holds no meaning. Not as long as you're moving about on the inner side of the world. What does it matter what we say? What have you to cling to? No one can tell you whether we are real and only visible to you, or mere illusions in the mind. That is something no one here in the inner side of the world is capable of, brother. Oh man, Ribozos. Hey, Fury, you don't get to say that. You didn't complete the story. Shut the fuck up, man. Seriously. The heck, man? Read the story. Seriously. I mean, honestly, you know, it didn't completely absolve them, but still, like, there's stuff in between. Can't just say that without knowing context. Other people appear opposite to them. A group of 5. Those 5 are... What's with that look? Huh? What's that look over there? That was always a habit of yours, I believe, speaking to empty space. You're catching up near me? Oh, okay. Awesome. Hey, little someone. Flashbacks. Is there someone there? All I can see is a shadow and nothing more. You can't see him. Really? Well, I guess you can't. Indeed, I cannot see this him of yours. And this Tokyo, you are the only one I have cast my eyes on. Even if there's another you there, there is someone we have never been able to see. Yet when it comes to how my third eye sees this world, sees him, sees you as you are now, you have no way of knowing. Are there truly only 5 there? Are you able to truly see them at all? Hey, it's the original me's, the worms, and was that Housamo back there? I think someone's there, in the blind spot, but that's hard to see. Indeed, there are things only visible from where you stand, much like there are things visible only to us. There are also matters only visible from the outer side of the world, as well as those only visible from the inner side. And what do I do? What do I believe in? I don't understand. Well, you'll be in good company in the parade slap over here. Indeed, that is the answer. No one understands. Not even the world representatives, with all their power and knowledge, can know the existence of something which cannot be seen, touched, or heard. Yet, when you are making a choice, should you find yourself in conflict, should you find yourself caught between 2 minds, then there are 2 people, 2 someones there, much like I split at our parting. If Kagito Ergo Sum is to be the start of the ego, of the self, then my proof of being is not what I can understand, but what I have chosen. It does not matter what you choose, because that choice becomes you. Even if you find yourself stripped bare, even if you find yourself shamed by all, I wish for you to go forward as you would. You are my hero, much as my sister was. It was the you here before me that made me realize, not my sister on that day, but the you here in Tokyo. You made me realize that it does not matter how many heroes one has. You believe much the same, do you not? Numbers may be power, in a way, But I ask, is that what it is you wish to disprove? Is that what it is you live for? I cannot claim to have knowledge of your heart, but I do not think that is the case. You may be the reincarnation of someone dear to me, or perhaps I'd only imagine that. We all have things we do not understand. Even those who arrive from the future are no exception. Even a blind idiot god, all powerful yet knowing nothing? We're like an all-knowing, all-powerful god too! Yet, when we left this Tokyo, when I left this Tokyo, who said farewell? The you that is here. Back then, we made our choice. Now it's your turn to make yours of your own accord. There is something I believe, though. I believe that our being able to meet like this was a miracle. You surpassed me after all. Only you were capable of that. I'm grateful for you to let me make my choice on that day. And I'm grateful to you, the one before me. Harrison! Alright. I have no idea what the fuck you guys are talking about, but cool story, bro. I see you're finally awake. Yeah, thank goodness. Welcome back, Harrison. Did you been here the whole time? Who stayed by my side? I heard your voice, Inori. Of course I was here the whole time, and you were in a state, let me tell you. I'm so glad you're alright, Harrison. Inori cries like a child. He may be shockingly familiar with seeing lives taken, but seeing lives saved is a novelty to him. Harrison, what's up? I'm fine now, Inori. Thank you. There's one thing I'd like to say, Harrison. Looking utterly drained after his surgical endeavor, Onyakon returns to you. The insides of that vessel of yours are in a state the likes of which I have never seen before. It's nothing short of a miracle that you're even speaking like this. If you get hit with that same thing again, that's it. Your body isn't going to be able to take it. That said, I assume you'll go regardless. I'll do what I can. I'll run if things get dicey. But I gotta go. Woo, this theme. You take your leave and Youngkon mutters to himself as you watch as you vanish in the distance. You remain forever out of my reach. Doctor? Are you alright? Thank you, Inori. This, however, is not exhaustion from the surgery. I think that I'm trying to distinguish between the patient and the man I remember my father to be taking its toll on me. There are a few taboos shared among doctors, and operating on family members is likely among them. If the person under the scalpel is someone they identified with in their youth, that's even worse. Doctor, I'll go after him. You should stay here a bit longer and rest. Why is Inori playing such an important role given his trash kid? Why go at all? Harrison is nothing but a stranger to you, no? You love to see it. Action with that dialogue. Oh, Daddy on Yankapone. Long have I followed in your footsteps, playing the hero you were. Am I shining as you did on that day? Even meditators can be denounced with good writing. Harrison, you're back. Sorry for the wait, everyone. I'm all good now. All right, dog warriors. Not a word more. And don't push yourself. We will fend off these foes. After his brusque reply, Borgtark returns to the battlefield. Alright, let the kit be trash, but the character be good. Oh, how gallant he has become. Quite the contrast to how he used to be. I've heard before that he bears a striking resemblance to me in my younger days. The other children have grown so much as well, truly coming into their own as warriors as I can be proud of. I have to lift my chair.
They may be children in my heart alone, lacking the bonds of blood. Yet as I look at them now, I cannot help but feel a hint of bashful pride. So you really did come, Shino. Yatsuhusa. How I wish to see you. Perhaps the others around you do not see him. Perhaps I do. In times past, I was barred from laying even a finger upon a single hair on your head. To be able to merely be by your side now is a miracle I could not have hoped for to be worthy of wishing for. Take my hand. Finally reunited, you and a Canisarian face forward together. The good touch! We're nodding! Nodding with the doggy. Okay. Standing at the head of their forces are the 5, but you can sense someone's presence behind them. There are 23 hidden in the powerful light of the 5 difficulty. Yet behind them all stands someone else. I know how much of a fighter you are. I knew you'd be back. Hark! Without exception. Remember the underground dungeon I mentioned before in Chiyoda Ward? The one that's still not unlocked? Don't worry about that. Well, that's where I found her. Don't worry, I'm the non-binary one. Joan of Arc is definitely her. When I got halfway through the dungeon, she taught me another way to use my chains. And that's why I have my charge Evo now. She was a mere human, branded with the label of a witch. In an age where everything burned, she was executed for alleged connection to the demonic arts. Who is that? Why is there a worm and a yaksha behind them? Who are they supposed to be? Arc's chains illuminate that on the battlefield which cannot be seen, bringing it into full view, and binding it together. The very sacred artifact used to immolate friend and foe alike in the battlefield with the Otomachi Guild on that day. It's the same weapon, but used in the opposite way. Something that connects to that which we cannot see. I can't say I've fully mastered its use, but that's something I'll grasp in the fights you've got ahead of us, starting with this one. Alright, let's move forward, everyone! We seek to go beyond the sky! What was... Your... Masashi? Oh, Shinbei? Arathan, I do believe I just heard my mother's voice from you just now. If it's alright with you, of course, could you maybe pat me on the head a few times? Alright, give me a hug, give me a little bit. Mother! Mother! I figured. Poor Shinbei, boy Shinbei. This chapter is dog slop. Harvey, get the fuck out of here. Go play your Sloppa here already, Jesus. Go make a fucking tier list every single time they release half a unit. Jesus Christ. I saw your shit. I was like, these bozos cannot make me be redoing the entire tier list just from 3 characters. The battle lines shift as you join the fray, and the alliance's forces push further and further into Babel Tower. Your eyes catch sight of the sky through the window, and you realize you are far above the surface, and indeed far above even the clouds. Yo, this is a wicked scene though, look at that shit. Finally, we're not looking just like upwards through some random sky thing. This is like celestial as fuck. As you're crossing swords, your foe unexpectedly begins saying something. Alright, they're finally talking. Abortion, baby. Some people would say that. Alright, let's voice act these battles. Do you still seek to continue forward? Leave the others bound, or perhaps... Multiple voices reverberate inside you at once, overlapping one another. You can choose whatever you want. What you choose, you become. Choose my answer. We soar to the top, take down the laboratory, take down this game, and finally free everyone. No one's free until everyone's free! Ha! Alright, let's do this.
You Arcan 8 Dog Warriors punch your opponent's back, providing them with no opening. You drive them back and storm up the Tokyo Babel Tower, going ever forward toward what lies beyond. Eesh, I know we're pretty slow, but I was hoping our head start would count for more than this. That's these bozos. Well, looks like we meet again, Summoners Guildmaster and company. Hoover! Oh, thank goodness, you're alright. Inari, you came all this way for. Alright, final battle for this stream. Alright. Peak gameplay.
よくも暴れ回ったものだ。話は指導室で聞かせてもらおう。
What do you mean? Can't end like that. Alright. I thought we were in the last part for some reason. I'm dumb. Alright, we still have 2 more parts. I'm rushing things. I'm just like, let's be over this already. Alright, 2 more to go. We're not done yet. We're not out here yet. There's still quite a bit past this peak. Fight for Survival Part 2. Whoever got like 2 love interests and they both canines. Well, he has a type, you know. That's a secret he wants to hide. Alright. Let's go ahead and bring... Whatever, let's bring Shino again, so he can do nothing as usual. A Fight for Survival Part 2. No one but me knows my records since I became the app's developer. Is that a summer host or in the background? I'm pretty sure this is used for the host event. One societal constant throughout history is that those who command information command authority. That Hoover became a guildmaster of the Cutthroat Intelligence Warfare Guild, the Asians, is a blatant example of this. Naturally, even more information gathers around those with authority. Thus, that Hoover learned numerous secrets the average person could never hope to discover. Much of it was information people were better off not knowing. He had seen countless individuals threatened for their secrets, and he had seen countless destroyed by them. If anyone got a hold of a secret, it would be the end. That belief ensured he always struck first. I see. Hoover betrayed Koshiya after all. What a dick! He sullied his hands in political corruption and conspiracy theories. Enemies and allies alike, he socially buried. And that's how he killed Koshiya, despite him burying himself. Hoover did not stop there. Friends with the potential to become future enemies, they became targets too. Countless bosses, co-workers, and subordinates were redacted by his own hands, erased from public life. If this is what takes me as a love interest, no thanks. I am anti-Hoover sexual. I'm anti-political bastard sexual. Before he knew it, there was no one left to oppose him. Now that he was all alone, it's finally beginning to dawn on him that that was not the future he was expecting. For him, it all started with a simple desire to quietly marry the one he loved. To accomplish that, he wanted the power to keep his secret safe. What would have become of him and his world if the future had granted that mundane wish? Even thinking about it was an exercise in futility. Everyone around him showed him nothing but fear towards his power. Which meant his colleague in the same guild would succumb to the same fear in time. Hey, Hoover. I think I want a new life. Something different from all this. Huh? One day, one of his top agents hit him with that request out of nowhere. His first thought was, where did that coming from? Word? I'm not tripping, right? Let me get some more oxygen. I'm reading this right? Where did that coming from? Okay. Peak translation. Well, it's not a translation issue, it's just a mistake. Inari, diviner of the Onmyoji ministry, born a monstrously talented genius of the arts of yin and yang. Such a colossally rare talent has earned him the genuine fear of many, both past and present. Born in the land of Abeno and rumored to be descendant of foxes, he is a monster who defies all logic. So much so that the mere mention of his name is enough to make the mighty and powerful all across the land tremble in fear. The thought of reliving a life so decorated with blood and hatred, and taking it all back seems impossible for anyone except Hoover. Hoover has third-class privileges, the power to forbid the exposure of Inari's history indefinitely. Thus did Hoover kill Inari, socially. He erased the history of his former co-worker and sent him off to a second life under the light of day. I guess this is a rare case where his power was used pretty good. When I saw you off, I was surprised to find myself wishing for you to take another path. I began to assume we were in two different worlds, and that we'd never meet again. Yet... when I was truly at the end of my rope, stuck between a rock and a hard place with no recourse. When I asked for your help, all I could say to you was this. I'm not going to let you forget who you owe for being able to retire back then, Inari. It's time to return the favor. All I can do is fight. And that's the kind of life I have chosen. You picked something else, so that was all I could think of to say to you. In other words, he's lived all his life as a scumbag, and that's not changing though. Take this! As I smoked my goofy voice acting. Oh, they're enjoying the fight. And I am too. Hey, I gotta ask. Why'd you come to save me, Inari? Huh? Why that surprise? You're the one who told me, to be your bodyguard. Sure, but I didn't think it would have made much of a difference if you just abandoned me here. What do you mean, abandon you? Obviously not. You never understood how other people felt. Don't act like you know what's going on in my head. Ever since you saved me, I've always seen you as my hero. So, all I'm doing is just returning the favor. I'm going to do for you what you did for me. Do I honestly have to spell it out for you? Inari, a former elite agent of the guild, and a person in this loop's made top secret, huh? Chaser confirmed. Yeah, it's like this dude is literally just like, I'm gonna drag you back into the underworld, and then Inari's like, ooh, it's Hujimama. Yeah, if you break it down into words alone, that's all he is. That's it, nothing more and nothing less, and the most bare bones record. In this loop, though, redacting him is something I wanted to do, something I chose to do. No one else knows the reason why. It was a decision for me and me alone. Hoover points his gun, already knowing what will happen when he fires. He's gonna miss? Standing before you are more than 23 heroes. Worse still, your foes in combat know the future. If numbers are all that matters, you stand no chance against them. If numbers are all that matters. Numbers mattering and numbers being all that matter are very different. That light! Onyakun shouts when he sees the glow on one of your two blades. Because he knows all too well what that glow is meant to rend. His father, Onyankopon Nyame, lived his life among humanity before moving on to heaven. Lamenting his passing, the people piled up millstones as a tower in hoping of reaching the heavens and following him. Yet they did not have enough millstones. Seeing the impossibility of the task, someone proposed an idea. Using the rule of rearrangement. What if we turn the millstone on the bottom into the millstone on the top? This was not meant to be. Not when the hero had denied the rules of this world. Thus did the tower reaching toward the heavens collapse and crumble. On a young Capone, Anansi believed his father was behind this, in an effort to stop the humans below from following after him. This drove him mad with jealousy towards the mortals, and in an act of defiance, he continued to follow in the footsteps of his father. I see, so this rule is the thing that prevented him from using the rule rearrangement in the past. Your sword defines beginnings, beginnings that cannot be rearranged. It glows with the light of Agisimba's primal hero, which stops others from following your actions. As for the sword on the other end, it prevents copycats. Well, isn't that interesting for this battle? Not even the world representative Anyakon recognizes its glow. What rules are we combining? What rending powers are we combining? I've got no idea, but... whatever! The two Hoovers stand opposing each other, gauntlets drawn and pointed. Hey, me, that's not me. If I asked you before why you're doing this, would you have told me? The other Hoover answers with a smile. Oh, what meaning would that have? I've been summoned by a summoner, and I'm obligated to obey. Right, so if I cut off that reason of yours, that obligation binds you, you won't need to fight anymore, right? That's a big if. Think you can beat me? I don't need to beat you. I'm not here to win. I'm here to survive. Because you know who runs the world? Who gets to play the leading role? The last one standing, that's who.
沈める時代からやってきた。あの日の先へ進んでみせな。
Yo, we got voice acting and main quest? I come from an age of decay and decline. Show me you can surpass that fateful day. I am shocked, I'm baffled, and flabbergasted. Beyond the blinding light, you're almost sure one of the 23 smiles at you. Not in 15 chapters did we ever see voice acting, and now we finally do.
さあ、極防。
加護よ、あれ、加護よ、あれ。
ガチで決めるぜ。
加護よ、あれ。
アルス・パウリナが定め極防星。アルス・ノバ。なるほどね。
Voice acting, yo. Doing my best expression of that one meme.
悪行をなさず、善行をこぼさず。川柳、猛暑ここにあり。
These are the heavens, far above the surface below. You stand atop the pinnacle of the tower, which bears a striking resemblance to the Tower of Babel, said to be where God had descended. A nearby system is rumbling away, having found the rule it was after. The rumble is in a tenor akin to roiling vexation, or perhaps tender nostalgia. System Utopia is one that has conquered time. Through countless trials in changing the past, it has maintained its constant acceleration. This time, it may actually achieve what no other systematic utopia has managed. This time, it may attain eternity. Yet even this utopia, the most modern and advanced, has an element that is most difficult to replace. The first being an utopia to ever perform time travel. The first one to rent the continuity of time, a part nigh impossible to replace, even with MX others' might. The continuity of time, huh? For as long as that irreplaceable part exists, there can be no eternity. Is that what we're doing? Are we cutting causality right now? Accelerator hums into action with the sole purpose of expelling that final obstacle, eliminating the unique.
Oh, baby! Now we're talking!
Potential energy fully charged and ready. Hope you had your fun tossing them around, you garden snakes, because the tables are turning pronto. Filled with potential energy worthy of a god, Gargoyle expands into a sculpted visage before your eyes. Bulk energy at full 100%, baby! Ain't this grotesque rhapsody? I can't imagine how magnificent it must feel to fall from such a height. But no, that takes a second priority. No, third priority at best. That goes against my music, against my very aesthetics. Shaitan, while this humble angel is once again your enemy, I am also surpassing you here and now. This is cause for celebration, and yet ample lamentation as well. Exicium in excelsis. Allow me to shoulder some of the burden while you go ahead. Now then, grand weaving. The two Hoovers standing apart and facing each other, guns at the ready, pull the triggers at the same time. Neither bullets hit. Both Hoovers survive. Amazing. I can hit a battleship, much less a barn. Very necessary scene. Ooh! Naked MC. Naked future hero. Let's see. This story is so long. Can you just catch up with the story? You cannot be calling this long. It's actually fairly standard length. I think one of the chapters was fairly long. It might have been just the entire Invaders thing, or maybe it was the Warmongers one. But this one is going fairly brisk in terms of like action, in terms of substance. So, like, y'all need to come with your Zoomer IQ level attention, your iPad baby attention. Fight for Survival Part 3, last one. They say there used to be only one united world where all languages were spoken and understood. Life thrived and prospered, seeking time heights enough to touch God. Thus that they built a great tower to the heavens. Yet when they ascended its reaches, when they attained the perch of God, the world was rent and split into many, divided by the walls of language. Such is the tale of the Tower of Babel, a story that tells of God's descent onto the tower and his powers to create walls. It is believed to be a table of hubris, cautioning all who listens against repeating the same mistake. Ah, nuts. I guess I've gone and failed my mission. With that, the other Hoover tosses his gun aside and holds up both hands in resignation. That's it then, other me. Yeah, I'm done. No point in failing harder. I was hoping to hold on to my third-class privileges in the app in this loop, in your place. I mean, sincere me. I figure I don't need to come out and say it, but... No, I'm wrong about that. I should try to come out and say it. That was the first reason I sided with them. See, even if it's just another me from another loop, I couldn't stand the thought of anyone knowing me and my secrets. I feared that so much. I thought that my world would end if anyone knew. If anyone were to tell me they don't understand how I feel when I told them this, I'd be at a real loss for words to explain. I figured that this was something only I understood. That these emotions were something that belonged to us and us alone. But at the end of the day, well, it turns out that you and I were different after all. Congratulations, me.
Is it over?
Moritaka turns and gives you a questioning look. Had he gone the distance, had he protected you to the end? His comrades stand beside him, smiling. Comrades. Now he can call them that with pride. Having survived such a perilous battle, they all feel like they have been brothers since before birth.
Fool! A battlefield is no place to drop your guard. Do you wish to be a miserable repeat of your father's shame? That was merely our advance into battle. Ready yourselves, for it all starts now. However, you did well. You have surpassed your father, filial one. No, you have surpassed your father, Moritaka. What did you just say?
Moritaka thinks he heard a word Ashino would never speak. After all, this man would rather shear off all his fur than say,
Moritaka! Incredible work, I must say. Why, I had you all wrong. Speaking of which, did you hear that voice? It was Mother. Mother was speaking to me. Mother? What are you talking about? I heard no such thing. Huh? You didn't? Well, I suppose that's no surprise. Me being the only one to hear it simply proves that I am especially loved, I'd say. After all, of our eight, I'm the top dog. I should consider this to be the end of our conflicts and my victory. Yes. There you go again, you little scoundrel. Just when I had begun to think better of you.
Discolored light.
No, I'm disappearing.
Power of rending severs the connection of compelled servitude. The heroes, more than 23 number, begin to fade.
Wait! Subsist is bestest! Why do we have to clash? Why did we have to fight? And what happens now?
The heroes smile. At least that is likely how it looked to someone present. They really ought to give Mori a new fit. He looks so crusty. Well, you know, it's whatever. Mori gets what he deserves. Like, this is literally the first time he was actually substantially useful. I know he did, like, some stuff in chapter 8, but or 9. That's kind of, like, only okay-ish, though. You know what? I don't have to hear it. I'll make my own choice. Their faded figures appear to be saying something, but they are too far gone to be heard.
It's hard, Daddy. Even when I'm this old, it's hard to ignore the malice that can't be seen.
Toward the back, Anya Capone raises his voice toward one of the fading individuals.
Anya Capone Yame. Daddy, I've lived so much further into the future than you did.
He speaks words that won't be heard to a man who can't be seen.
I don't think these words can reach you anymore, Daddy. But there's one thing I need you to know. I didn't follow after you. Did you see me, Daddy? When I finally turned my back?
No answer comes, of course. So faint is his figure that Onyakon is sure that no one else can see him. To anyone watching, I must look like I'm this one seeing you off. Remembering all the peoples he has seen off at graduation ceremonies back at his universities, he forces himself to smile. He suddenly feels awkward, like an alumnus coming in to tell current students what to expect. When you left the world, Daddy, you looked a lot younger than I do now. You loved humans so much, and I resented you for it. I thought that all the love they received meant less to me. But when you left the world for their sake, I decided to try loving humans on my own. It was for revenge at first, I admit, but over time, the more I played the part, the more that love of mine became genuine. Although humans might not recognize it as the love they talk about. I did good, didn't I, Daddy? I'm old as sin, and I still want nothing more than to hear a good job from you. It feels like the figure of his father smiling back at him, and that alone is enough for him to keep on living. You loved humanity. You loved humanity. I both admired and hated you. It wasn't until after you disappeared and I'd spent a long time following in your footsteps, but I'd finally noticed. As much as I want to chase after you, even now, that isn't my only desire. So instead, I'm going to keep walking toward the future, where you no longer exist, accompanied by all those beings you treasured so much. I know that's what you would have wanted, so don't you worry about me, Daddy. Go back up to the sky like you did so long ago. It's kind of sad we don't hear like a conversation with all 23 exiles. Light pours in through the cracks in the tower, illuminating something you struggle to discern. Fucking bedroom houses who were being naked. Booba. Olio, sexilio. Bugs and mice. Get as many selves you don't know as people you don't know in places you don't know at moments in time you don't know. Unrecognized joy, sadness, surprise, and many other emotions, and yet... Hey, just so you know, you're not the only one, yeah? I've been through a ton of stuff you don't know about. I figured that that didn't need to be said, but I realize now that when you don't put this kind of stuff into words, you end up forgetting yourself, you know? You forget the stuff that made you, you. There was someone I wanted to save, but I couldn't. Maybe you lot can, if you keep up the space. Maybe you lot can if you keep up the space. So I'll tell you the second reason I joined up with them. Some information about the future I'm sure you'll find handy. Koshie has joined up with the laboratory and Utopia's representative. What? The same Koshie who said he loved me, whom I socially killed back in that loop. There it is. He backstabbed him. Not just him either. You're going to run into a ton of familiar-looking walls blocking your path. And the nearest immortals will be waiting. I didn't stand a chance against them, but... You're not me. You pulled out all the stops and surpassed me. So... It's me!
おめでとう。これからも自分にだけは負けんなよ。
Alright. Yeah, that last image real was roaches. Fucking... one bug, one mouse, and one gremlin. Congratulations! Let me redo that. Congratulations! Go on forward! And never lose to yourself. So that was certainly a show of support to those following after. Besties! Whatever this means. Len.
What the? The tower we spent all this time climbing up is starting to crumble?
I'm pretty sure I had a dream about this where I was standing on a tower that was collapsing. And I was like running up the falling pieces, the beams and the gaps and all that as I was falling to survive. Indeed, intelligent beings do not repeat failures. Who does? So says someone who is watching the scene from an impossibly far distance above the Tower of Babel. Could this be MX Other? What you see before you is part of a completely novel plan that has never been attempted before. The old hierarchy was thus. Humanity in its hubris erected the Tower of Babel, and God descended upon it to create walls. This time we have done the opposite. We are attempting to summon God after finally putting all the pieces in place. The advanced party reaches the very top of the Tokyo Babel Tower. However... Wait, what's that? You all look up and see something floating above you. This is the satellite word thing. Everyone is speechless as they stare at the massive city hanging above their heads. So, we've come this far at last. Marchosias, one of the volunteers in the Babel Tower advanced party, looks up to the city in grim awe. In the past, his summoner had entrusted him with his son's life and the laboratory secrets, which he succeeded in protecting. So, unlike the others, when he looks up in the floating city, he knows that this is where the game began. It is the 24 portal hidden within the 23 wards of Tokyo. 24 portal? New Tokyo, destined to appear in the future. And the name most commonly given to the mass floating above your head is Satellite School. Yo. If you don't understand why it's shaped in the cylinder, that's because that's how artificial gravity works in concept in Satellite. They rotate it, and then due to centripetal force, people are pushed against this inner side of the cylinder, creating artificial gravity. Chapter 16, Game Masters versus Exters, continued in Part 2. Oh my goodness. So that is all for Part 1. Let me just double confirm. Yeah, the next part is not translated yet. So, yeah, let's head out. Let's head out. Romeo, Sexevio! Oh, we're heading over here instead. So, what do you think of that, folks? Incredible. In very least, it's much more faster paced than the several chapters we've seen before, which was a waffling in terms of the plot development with hints here and there. But this one had stuff going on and on in terms of like plot development. We're actually seeing things. We're actually, getting conclusions to the Tower of Babel and even some origin story with Housamo. Where did Housamo go? Don't ask. I don't know the answer to that. But yeah, I'm glad that it turned out to be better than I hoped. It's not done yet, of course. We have Part 2 coming up. We don't have an official translation date for that yet. Presumably, it's going to be when Chapter 17 officially releases, which I'm presuming is going to be at the end of this campaign, which is going to be sometime in July. So that'll probably be the next time you get to see my beautiful face in stream then. But yeah, let's talk details. Might as well. This is the last time we're talking for a while, so yeah. I think some characters understandably got the short end of the deal. Like fucking Nisquok kind of showed up and was like, alright, get out of here, you little booger. And then he left. Inari. Meanwhile, other characters like Inari and Hoover got a surprising large amount of time. I mean, Hoover getting an important role is not too much of a surprise. But, he's just like a 4-star. It's kind of weird. Inari getting a big role is only completely contingent on Hoover's existence, I think. Otherwise, there are two big surprise units in terms of who got the spotlight for most of this episode. In terms of the reasons for Future Hero and Chino showing up, it was kind of, it's as good as any other reason you can come up with in the back of a napkin. They showed up because they were summoned from the future or something, and then Chino showed up because he was summoned from our internal memories from Housamo or something, through Onyakupon's help. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't really matter too much. I mean, the orbs were there. You know, the brother, what do you call them? The dog warriors were there. So if it happened to happen at some point, then I guess, you know, everyone knew it was going to happen. There's no need to waffle on about it, unlike some of these people's backstories. Seeing Koshie's having such a prominent role was a surprise too, especially since he just debuted in a Valentine's event of all things. Future Hero and Chino appearing right at the very end was very funny. Yeah, it was a very particular thing to do. But it's also like, it's to be expected based on the release of, you know, banner itself with both Chino and the protagonist, or the part 1 banner. How are you going to squeeze them into these small few chapters? Apparently you make them super relevant as, you know, fighting forces, and really the protagonist was. Chino was kind of just there. He kind of just showed up, and then he said, like, good job, Money Talk, I'm out. But otherwise, it wasn't really too important to the story, because I think otherwise we were able to hold on our own even without the dog warriors, or rather, at least without Chino. So Chino, kind of a disappointment, but that's not a big surprise considering his kit. Protagonist, quite good. We got voice acting out. We got fucking voice acting. That fucking shit. Oh my god. Chef's kiss. This might actually, I'm morbidly curious what the voice acting is for the other protagonists. I probably don't have the energy to skip through all that, but maybe one day someone can prepare that file. Unfortunately, I can't prepare videos, so I won't be doing that. I don't really prepare content like that anyways. Epic dog screen time. That was definitely a cameo from Chino, with the voice lines, by the way. Shows the preference for the writing. They decided to prepare like 10 different voice lines. Well, 20 if you count the 2 different voice lines for each of the hero, for the protagonist. But, you know, Chino, we don't need to prepare voice lines for him. It's whatever, right? But yeah. Onyakupon unfortunately played such a large, important role in the story. And that's kind of really awkward because I did not remember his voice. I made it up on the fly. It was very, like, I don't know if I was hitting his voice accurately at all. It was nice that we got some backstory in him, especially as a role representative. I did feel like, as the story progressed in main quest, they did kind of belittle the importance of world representatives. So it's nice that they gave a bit of a spotlight to them, even if that did mean that the other representatives didn't really have a chance to shine. I mean, you know, not all the reps were there, and it was a very rare moment for everyone to have their piece in terms of finally fucking saying something or commenting or emoting in some way to the exiles that they, you know, otherwise have no contact with. And Youngpun was the one who was just like the placeholder for all of them. The other ones who were there, like Israfil or whatever, they kind of were just like, whoa, cool story. You know, it's fine. I'm glad there was some other people making reactions too. Israfil playing some role was kind of weird, but it's, I don't know. The story did kind of harp on in terms of, as it usually does, repeating the same concepts over and over and over again in many different words. Like that whole thing about just like our dream sequence with us talking with the past world reps that died. While that was cool, do you even remember what they were talking about? I don't fucking remember what they were talking about. They were like, you know, it's the memories, it's the past, it's the present. It's like, you know, it's like, it's mere sophistry. It's like using big words without actually trying to say anything. And Housamo does have that issue a lot. And unfortunately, even though this was a very dense chapter content-wise, it still slipped in plenty of that where they were just talking in circles about nothing in particular. Especially Housamo, not just anime in general. Maybe on that Internet Explorer feed. All right, let me read that chat a bit before I continue on with my self-rant. I feel like I'm barely having a conversation here, if at all. All right, Dog Warriors Unite. Yeah, it was nice seeing them. And very least, even if Shino got the dog dead end, ditch dead end, I don't know how to describe it, the bad end of the deal. The other Dog Warriors actually saying they worked together as comrades. That was peak. Like Shino who, right? Camaraderie, that's peak. Like a, you know, 8-way camaraderie, 8-way dog-way camaraderie, that's peak. But yeah, the voice acting. Just to confirm with you, Theory, and everyone else, there was no previous voice acting throughout this entire main quest sequence until that point. Otherwise, the last time we received voice acting within the story was only pretty much within the anniversary sequences. He was on the story banner, Ara. Indeed, he was. But yeah, let me see what other characters are on this. Gargoyle. irrelevant. No one cares about Gargle. It was mostly just making quips about comparison to Shitan. I don't know, he was irrelevant. Who cares? Onyankon, very irrelevant. He saved our ass. Inrei, unfortunately irrelevant. Shitagara, otherwise known as Jizo, surprisingly irrelevant, but not in a way I really understand. He kind of functions like Alice or Alp, I guess, in terms of being able to go into places where people are not normally able to access. And it seems through that way he was able to rescue the protagonist somehow by reaching out to someone who is in need, just in the same way that he reaches out to kids in need who are sent to help even though they were sinless. And I guess somehow he heard Fusahime and or Shino's voice. I don't know how that works out, but he did, and then maybe he was rescued, and they kept on mentioning they saw someone above, and I don't know if that was one and the same. I don't know. This game does that, right? It uses a lot of words, and it doesn't make sense to you, even though they use a lot of words. Who else was in the story? Let me think. Curran and Kyoma, they're gone for some reason. I don't know. They had combat, and then, you know, Curran's just like, I actually don't believe in Santa anymore. I don't believe in you being the all-powerful god. And then Kyoma turned normal, and then somehow we're at Babel Tower, and we don't have no answers of where Kyoma and Curran went, but okay, sure. Let me read this. I think they were saying, like, you don't see if they see you or the exiles. I don't know. That has always been the case for the MC, where they're not sure if they're seeing us or the exiles. Shino's writing is probably one of your biggest gripes about main quest, but you pulled because you're deluding yourself with hype moments and aura. Honestly, yeah, it was hype in terms of, like, I did not expect Shino's team to actually fight the future protagonist, future hero, even though it was, like, not of consequence, right? Like, the decisive blow was not at all from Shino and the Dog Warriors fighting the protagonist. It was just, like, from us believing in ourselves or some shit like that. But yeah, it's Shino, kind of slight negative aura, but he's kind of carried by the others. I did love the banter between Moritaka and Shinpei, and I did love the comparisons between the strategists of what's called Tanatomo and Masanori. I feel like Yasunori got kind of shunted to the side and Nobuharu, I forget which one he is called. He was there too. I mean, country voice acting, you know, how do you say it? Country girls make do. Good voice acting all around. It was fun. Yoshito, I'm pretty sure he had like 0 lines. He was completely irrelevant. And I know there's like one other one, but I'm forgetting them. Oh yeah, Tadatomo. He was there too. They're both Yoshito and Tadatomo are kind of like whatever. Let me think. I know there's more characters. There was more characters to this fucking chapter 16 thing. We had them all invited, but for the most, it was just these ones, weren't they? We went to the tower. Oh yeah, there was a fucking Tuition as well as Ilangi Chuan. Honestly, not a bad use for them. What's called Tuition was kind of fun in terms of his, you know, sleeping around, but actually being relevant, unlike Kusha, who slept around but played no important role in the end for chapter 14. Tuition, he woke up from an orgy apparently, and then he was just like, I'm living in Future City and it's good. He hears about his backstory, and then he just, what's that? I'm in the future? Whoa! Everything's, you know, future in Chrome. And then that was the president for that information gathering scheme between him and Ilangi Chuan, which was fairly clever, I might add, to pair them up as a fairly compatible couple of someone who can, see slightly into the future versus Heilangi Chuan, who is guaranteed safety, which is, you know, necessary if you're traversing into a world that is completely untouched. But they're kind of useless in battle versus Kern. They're kind of just like knock out the entire time, which was a choice. It's fine. I don't really care about them battle-wise, but I did like their role in the story at least. Yeah. I really can't remember anyone else in this story. That's all I got, to be honest. Anyway, 3 ads. That's a good time to close out the stream, I think. So, despite what despite what this says, part 3, this is indeed the end for now. The next part is going to be indefinitely in the future, sometime in July, presumably, whenever chapter 17 releases. So, it's been a pleasure to finally stream to all of you again, voice act, and actually pump out my lungs, and embody these characters, you know? I feel like I've been pretty fucking dead for Housamo for quite a while in terms of my interest, but a lot of that I'm finding out is now just because I'm not even streaming, I'm not playing the stories, and I'm not sharing this experience with you guys. I'm having fun with it, so, you know, thank you guys for letting me have fun with the story a bit more by streaming to you, and thank you for joining me today. But yeah, I think I'm waffling on long enough. And that's all for now. I will see you in July or the next discussion, whichever if. And yeah, I will catch you guys later. See you later, cuties.